yeah, generally a person that is pretty huge and with a very huge heart, very generous and with a huge sense of humor. But as far as I remember what Chris told me, also a very small penis. Please welcome Dublin Dave.
Thank you.
Show us! Get it out!
Not yet. First of all, today I had a class. As some of you know, I'm an English teacher. And we were talking about different things. And one of the jokes, mainly, wasn't really funny. One of the pieces of paper we had said, 100 reasons why it's great to be a man. Some of the reasons were, when you're shaving, you stop at your neck. You don't have to shave any lower. If you have a child, the fucker doesn't bite your nipple. Big plus in my opinion. If you're getting married, it's great. The wedding seems to take care of itself. Yeah, doesn't seem to matter. Also again with marriage. When you're getting married, you look at the price tag of a wedding dress. Let's say 2,000-3,000 zloty. To rent a suit, it would cost what? 100 zloty, 200 zloty? Price-wise, it's actually not so bad. And then I looked at a list that said, what's great about being a woman? And it just said, fuck you. Big bold letters.
How old are your students?
A little bit older than me. Not that young, don't worry.
12.
Anyway, apart from that, last week guys, I went to Ireland and I was flying with Wicc Air. Fuck me, I'm never doing that again.
Okay, that was all.
Okay, I was waiting for something more, seeing as it was you.
Enough.
But, as you do, it was a 3-hour flight. I decided I need to go for a shit. So, I went into the toilet, sitting down. About 2 minutes later, the plane started shaking. It didn't just start trembling, it was fucking shaking. I was sitting there thinking, fuck, I'm gonna die. Hold on, I've got the best seat in the house. And the best part is, if we crash, I don't even have to wipe my ass. Great. Unfortunately, we didn't crash. I had to wipe my ass, made it to Ireland, and got home. As soon as I saw my family, the first thing they said was, Jesus Christ, you didn't lose any weight, did you? Every time I go home, there's a comment about how big I am. It's like, you know, soon enough we're going to have to send you to America to buy clothes. And fuck, we're not even going to be able to get a plane to carry you across the sea. And the 1 or 2 times I've actually gone home and actually lost weight, half my family thought I was being, you know, underfed in Poland. They thought I did not have enough money to feed myself. And when I left Ireland, I was almost twice the size. My grandmother, instead of sitting there with a spoon, had a shovel, was just putting it onto my plate. Eat! Eat! You're wasting away! I was still 120 kilos. Didn't really understand that part. But I was talking to my family, which was a big mistake. They're all really fucked up. They're worse than me. And while I was there, I heard some interesting stories. How many of you here have pets? Quite a few of you, I would say. Yeah? I learned a long time ago I should never keep any sort of animal. But my sister didn't learn this lesson. She had a hamster. Had, I'm using the past tense here. And unfortunately for the poor little creature, it had cancer.
Aww.
Yes, I know, it's terribly sad, but some of you are still laughing. And she decided, I'm not paying 200 euros to have him, you know, bring him to the vet, have an operation on him. I'm just going to give him a Tylex, which is a very strong painkiller. She planned to poison the poor little hamster, so it would die peacefully. Unfortunately, the hamster beat her to it. It hung itself. She came back when she had mixed the painkiller with the water, and she found her hamster looking like this. Somehow, the poor little fucker had managed to jam his head between the bars and jump. And he literally hung himself. I thank you for your sympathy. Now whenever I see my sister, I ask her, how's her hamster? Because when we were younger, we should have learned our lessons. We didn't have a zoo outside our garden. We had a fucking animal graveyard. So many animals that you would not see in a farm or in a zoo were still buried in our garden. We had hedgehogs buried there. We had, a poor little bird, which we saw had a broken wing. We still managed to bury him in our garden. A dog with a broken leg, he's also buried in our garden. Just be glad there was no kids with broken legs on our street. The good Samaritans that we are. We feel obliged to bury him. And again, staying with my family. Once upon a time we had a hedgehog. I believe in Polish you call it a yesh, whatever the fuck you call it. It's a punk rocker of the animal world. For some reason in Poland you always put an apple on his back. The poor little fucker doesn't even eat apples. Seriously, what's wrong with you? Anyway, did you know that hedgehogs hibernate?
Hibernate?
Yes, they hibernate. They sleep for the winter. Did you know this?
Maybe in the frozen.
That's if it's in the fridge.
Yeah, it could be.
Unfortunately, my mother didn't know this. Poor little thing's not moving. Shit. Not again. So, I come home to find my mother in the back garden with a shovel in hand. Mom, where's Spike? He escaped. Only problem is, when you own more than one animal at a time, especially dogs, the little fuckers like to dig. And we saw Spike again very soon. Although, we saw bits and pieces of Spike. A little bit of over there, a little bit over there. Later on we had to teach my mother about hibernation. That was the last hedgehog we ever had. But continuing on with my mother, lovely woman that she is, she told me how, no, I have 3 siblings, 2 brothers, 1 sister. She breastfed us all, and she always tells me how I was a very large, voluptuous baby. I like to eat. Out of all her children, I was the only child she kept breastfeeding to lose weight. Now when you're about 1.5 years old, it still looks kind of strange here. She stopped when she was pregnant with my sister. So fuck this, I'm not going to lose anything. But anyway. When I go home, people are always asking me, do you speak Polish? And because they don't know any better, I say yes. Tak, oczywiście. Ja mówię po polsku. Kurwa, spadaj. What did you say? Hello, how are you? Do you know what I forgot? I forgot how many of you fuckers live in Ireland. My sister's friend with friends with 30 Polish people. Last time, Dave, you speak Polish? Oczywiście. Her friend steps out of the corner. Naprawdę, czy mówisz po polsku? Fuck you. Yeah, didn't work so well. In Poland, I learned, very quickly, if I try to speak Polish, you start laughing. But when my Polish is really, really shit, you think I'm amazing. When we make mistakes, you think it's the best thing in the world. It's like, especially, you love to teach us swear words. The worst words in Polish. Kurwa, spadaj, spierdalej. Do you know the word kurwa? No, what does it mean? And you feel like it's your obligation to tell us. Oh, he doesn't know kurwa. It means you're beautiful. Thank you, good night.